All right, we're officially on here now. We're gonna get going. Anybody who's popped in or out, apologize for that. It's been had a little bit of a technical issue here, trying to run several different platforms. We might have to try to work with that as we're going through, because we can definitely see there's a little bit of an issue. Definitely gonna need to do some updates. So we're for anybody who's here, we're going to get into our first topic. Right, I know we're slightly behind, but thank you all for joining us. Thank you anyone who has been kind of trying to stick around as we're getting this live figured out. Like I said, definitely gonna have to do some updates to our information. All right, today's topic, as you can probably tell by the title, is fasting, right? Fasting and furious, or fasting curious, depending on how you want to label it. We're getting into the world of intermittent fasting, keto diets, right? The newest trends, what works, what doesn't work. Just trying to figure it all out, maintain a somewhat healthy lifestyle. So with that being said, we're going to record our first video while people are popping in. Danny G says he can't hear anything. Let's see, Danny, how far behind are you? And the bit rate. No, I'm good now. Okay, good. We thanks for popping on, Danny. We had a little bit of a technical issue. I think I definitely need to clean this thing out. That was like 2 minutes ago. Okay, I just happened. Look, it just popped up. We're trying to run different things on here. It kind of just took a poop on me, so we're just now getting started. I definitely need to clean this thing out over the weekend. I'm sure that'll help a little bit, but obviously, as we mentioned before, running multiple platforms might not necessarily be a great fit, so I might have to try to figure out which ones to do on which ways. I basically said forget Twitch for now, because I don't think I was going to really get much over there for now, until we can kind of figure out what's the best way to do this. I know I've heard of Streamlabs. We might have to kind of examine that a little bit, see if that helps, but yeah. Good idea. What, the Streamlabs part or cleaning it? Or both? All right. So I'm gonna record this first segment, and then we'll get into the talk. Hopefully some more people will join us as we're coming through. I've seen a couple people stopping by on TikTok. I've seen a viewer or two popping in on Facebook. Love you, my dear. I've seen a people or two popping in on Facebook. Now that we're officially up, we're getting ready to record our first segment, and then we'll kind of go from there. Welcome to the most ironic buffet in the world, where there's plenty of food, you just don't eat any of it. Let's talk about intermittent fasting. The numbers 16 and 8, 20 and 4, 12 and 12 aren't locker combinations or secret alien codes. They represent your fasting to eating ratios, like 16 to 8. That means you fast for 16 hours and eat in an 8-hour window. Alleged benefits include fat loss, because you're literally not eating, improved blood sugar, unless you break your fast with a jelly donut, and mental clarity, which may also be hallucinations. There's a fine line. But let's be honest. Some people feel amazing. Others just feel like they're constantly in the third act of a Snickers commercial, right? You're not yourself when you're hungry. And it's not one size fits all. Some people do great on a 12-12, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Others prefer a 20 and 4, a little extreme, because they enjoy eating dinner at 10 p.m. and then crying at 11. So that's it for this portion of this segment. Stay hydrated, stay present, and maybe fold a fitted sheet just for the meditative chaos of it. This is bargain brand wellness, self-care on clearance, probably not FDA approved. All right, so that's kind of just a starting point for what we're going to talk about with intermittent fasting. No, the Snickers commercial is such a real statement. Oh, I'm absolutely right there with you, Rue. No, absolutely. I used to be, I don't really get it so much anymore, but I used to get hypoglycemic when my sugar would drop. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I can't click you. I don't know what that means. I can't click you or you can't hear me. Yeah. I feel like you're judging me. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I hear you fine, Tim. Thanks, Jeff. Glad. We had a little, for those of you who just joined, thank you for being here. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, so we're kind of just getting started. We were trying to do multiple platforms, and it wasn't really working out that well. So I have people here on YouTube. We have some of you here on Facebook, and we have some of you here on TikTok. So thank you for being here. We were going to try to do Twitch. I think that was too much of a load. So we're going to skip Twitch for now. We might eventually get into that. Maybe that'll be one of those ones we do as late night, BBW after dark streams. But yeah. So no, I absolutely agreed. Fasting it's not the easiest thing in the world. Any of you who I've talked to about this before knows that I've dipped my toe in the water with intermittent fasting. I've even done 24-hour fast. I was doing it last spring. That was a challenge, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. What's up, Michael Yost? How you doing? Fasting is a struggle. I didn't realize there were so many different time frames. Yeah, absolutely. The most common, right, when it comes to intermittent fasting is the 16 and 8. That's a really good starting point. You can get it at 12, right? You really can. You can do a 12 and 12. But the problem with that is your body doesn't even really start to go into a fasted state until about after hour 12. And if you're eating in that 12 hours, you're not really getting any of that benefit from it. So basically what that means is 12 hours fasted mean there's nothing in your body to digest. Majority of the time, the calories you burn throughout the day are the calories that you've consumed. But by getting into that fasted state, your brain or your body starts digesting the fat cells, kind of turns that into carbohydrates for your brain, for your muscles, and all your bodily functions. So that's kind of what most people use as their number one purpose for intermittent fasting or just any type of fasting. There's a whole lot of other things that we're going to get into here in our next segment that it's also good for. But yeah, it's a struggle at times. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not always easy, but it's something worth trying if you're looking at messing around a little bit. Here in my next segment, I'm going to talk about some of the risk that kind of comes with it. Some of the hype that comes with it, because there's a new diet trend every time you turn around on social media, on whatever. Some things work well. It's all personal preference, right? Thanks, Mikey. Digging the shades. I like these shades too. These are one of my favorite pairs. I've gotten a lot of them off Temu. Any of you who ever watch the other show saw some of these, trying to figure out which ones go with the drip, right? As the young ones say. So yeah. Digging the shades. Tim's not tech savvy. Forgive him. I'm okay with some tech. I'm just not. I'm good with software. It's hardware I'm not the greatest with. I didn't know there were certain things I had to upgrade, throughout here. I mean, I kind of knew I had to clean it. That'll probably be a this weekend project. Yeah. Yeah, Temu glasses, you gotta love them, right? I got a 12 pack of different glasses for I know it was less than $20. It's probably like $12 or $15, and love all the different ones. All right. Hello, Mother. Thank you for joining us. So if I eat dinner at 5 p.m. and eat nothing else that evening, I have fasted. Then eat breakfast at 8 a.m. I have fasted over 12 hours. Yeah, absolutely you have. Yeah, what is that? 5 p.m. to, what would you say, 8 a.m.? That's, what? 15 hours? Yeah, so you'd be in a 3-hour fasted state, right? Which just kind of helps burn excess, extra calories, but it also does a little bit extra for you, right? Which, once again, I'm going to get into here in this next segment. I'm just kind of saying hi to everybody as they're popping in. Aunt Teresa, I see you. I see you popping in. Over here on TikTok, I see my cousin Steven. What's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. I try my best to not eat anything after 7, and that's always good practice. Not even just really for fasting, but just to give your body a chance to really digest everything. Yeah, that's good practice. That's good practice when you're able to do it. Of course, I know with you and work, I'm sure that's probably difficult at times, Mike. Yeah, trust me, I've been there. So, what's your spring break plans, Tim? Spring break. Listen, my college is online school. UMGC in the house, so there is no spring break. I did take next week off though, so my spring break, I guess if you want to call it that, is starting to clean up my outside and get everything ready. I know my little ones are ready for the pool to be open. I don't think it's quite ready, obviously, but that's my plans. Working outside. I take a week off work to do work around the house, so we'll call it a staycation. Oh, that's so sweet. I like to see the love between two grown men. So sweet. See OG Twig on here as well. Saw you online earlier, right? Looking good out there on the basketball court. We watched it during our lunch today, so it was entertaining to watch. It was a good game. Some decent handles out there. They just couldn't finish. Uh-oh. As Danny said, Popo's in the house. How's it going, Mr. or Officer? Officer, how's it going? Glad to have you on here. So once again, for those of you who just joined, we're live. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, and we're also live on TikTok. All right, so feel free to check us out, whichever your preferred platform is. We were going to try Twitch. Not that there was anything wrong with Twitch on its end, but I was running a heavy load. I'm still running a heavy load, but we're looking good over here. We're running pretty strong. How big is my sunglass collection? It's not as big as you might think. I mean, I have a little here in my little storage closet. I have a bin, probably about, I don't know, that big, full of sunglasses, most of which I get off of Temu, I'll be honest. So, I mean, probably $50 worth of pair of these like little $1 or $2 pairs. He has more than he should. No, you're absolutely right. In fact, some of them I didn't even like, but yeah, no, it's not as big as you would think, but it is growing. It's going to continue to grow. I like my shades. I like my hats. Right, and I like my shirts. So got to go with the vibe, right? 12. All right. So getting ready to get into the next part of our show, continuing to talk on intermittent fasting. For any of you here who just joined, we're talking about fasting, intermittent fasting, or just any fasting in general, and we're gonna get right into the next portion of our topic. But let's say 16 hours isn't intense enough. Maybe you want your stomach to sound like a dubstep track. Then you, my friend, might be ready for dun dun dun. Enter the world of extended fasting, where you eat nothing for a full 24 hours or more and somehow still go to work and answer emails like a functioning human. The basics are sticking to water or other liquids that won't break your fast, such as coffee or tea without any type of added sweetener. Many people skip breakfast nowadays, and if you're really busy, you might even skip lunch. Skipping dinner, on the other hand, what insanity. So why do people do this? Fasting isn't just physical. It's been used for centuries in religious and spiritual practices to promote clarity, discipline, and self-mastery. For some, 24-hour fasts are a way to reset mentally and emotionally, not just metabolically. Of course, for others, it's less about enlightenment and more about proving they have more willpower than the other person who said, "I could never do that." People love 24-hour fasts because of a process called autophagy. It's like your cells basically doing a spring cleaning. When you don't eat for an extended period, your body starts breaking down old, damaged cells and reusing the other parts. Think of it like your body going, "Oh, we're not getting new groceries. Fine, we'll just clean out the back of the fridge finally." It's a big selling point for people interested in anti-aging, longevity, or just proving they can out-discipline a snack. Or just pure unadulterated spite towards the bathroom scale. While this might seem like a long-term solution for losing weight, it can actually lead to some unhealthy eating habits. There are real benefits, like potentially reduced inflammation and enhanced cellular repair. But there are also real risks, like forgetting your PIN number, or trying to fist fight a ficus because it looked at you funny. Always listen to your body. If you're lightheaded, angry texting, or attempting to manifest bread, maybe it's time to eat something. If this helped, confused you slightly, or made you laugh, then mission accomplished. You're watching Bargain Brand Wellness, where the thoughts are deep and the advice is just as deeply discounted. Bargain Brand Wellness. 24 hours sounds intense. I would definitely be hangry. So as I mentioned before, I was messing around with a 12 or 24 hour fast for a little bit last year. I was doing it once a week, typically on Mondays. And I'm not going to lie to you, I actually liked it. But let me add some caveats here to you. It was difficult to get up and go work out. I like to go work out first thing in the morning before I go to work. It was hard, right? That Tuesday, because I was usually fasting Mondays, Tuesday morning getting up. I was able to go, but I didn't have a lot of energy. Does 24-hour fast mean you eat once a day? No, it means you don't eat for 24 hours. You don't eat until the next day. I'm over here watching now on YouTube instead of Facebook. So I didn't have a lot of energy. I was able to do it, but I felt like I really couldn't push myself. Second, for the longest time, I've been doing intermittent fasting for years. So not eating breakfast was not really a problem. Many of you probably remember I used to be drinking my keto coffee, also known as butter coffee. I used to drink that. The butter, we would put grass-fed Irish butter in it and coconut oil, which didn't technically break your fast, and it would kind of help keep you full, so I didn't really feel as hungry. And at the time, I was someone who couldn't drink just straight black coffee. And then we got into and then I wouldn't eat until lunch. So with a 24-hour fast, that once a day, then I had to skip lunch, and that wasn't too bad, right? As long as I could keep myself pretty busy, I could go up to lunch. It was then around like that 3 to 5 p.m. window that it really started to make it a little bit more difficult, especially around dinner time, right? I'd start feeling a little bit, but then by 7 o'clock, it was gone, right? Those hungry pains were gone, and all I had to do was just kind of chill out the rest of the evening, go to bed, and then once I got up in the morning, I could eat. So it was really the dinner time was the hardest part in all honesty. And actually, after about 7 p.m., it was weird. I actually had like a sense of clarity. I don't know. It was kind of, I don't even really know how to explain it. If any of you have ever tried a 24-hour fast, maybe you can kind of attest to that. Yeah, it was, like I said, it was like a sense of clarity that you kind of went through. It was different. So, all right. Before I explain a little bit more, I see a bunch of chats coming in. Let's start over here on Facebook. 24 hours sounds intense. I would definitely be hungry. I only eat once a day. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like Monday would be the best worst day to try. I think it kind of depends on what your schedule's like. Anyways, I'm just saying, have you ever tried the mushroom coffee? I have tried mushroom coffee. I was drinking oh shoot, mud water. I was drinking that for about a year. A family member got it for me for Christmas. I liked it, but I couldn't drink it as coffee. I had to put it over ice. In fact, I would add a little bit of like a good quality creamer that I would get from the store called Nut Pods to it, and then I liked it. It was just expensive. It was $40 a month. It stained the inside of any cup I would use, like worse than what coffee does. And it was just a pain in the butt to mix it up because you had to blend it really well. I had one of those little hand mixers that you've seen on TikTok or any other social media. Like I said, I had to put it over ice, and it was just it was a mess. It was good, but it just wasn't worth it. Danny, that stuff is nasty. Yeah, I remember you tried it. You gave me what you had. I finished it and then I stopped buying it. Ashley says on YouTube, speaking of coconut oil, have you ever tried oil pulling? I have tried oil pulling. I've done it with sesame oil, which wasn't bad. Left a nice little sesame taste in your mouth. And I have also done it with coconut oil. What's that one brand they had on TikTok? It actually works really well. I don't use it every day. I use it maybe once a week, twice if I can. Guru, I can't remember, but it's like a coconut oil that had like a minty flavor to it. Yeah, it's not bad. They say to really get the benefits of oil pulling, you're supposed to do it for at least 10 minutes. 10 minutes is hard. So maybe only a couple minutes, depending on how long you can go. Yeah, Mike, oil pulling. It's supposed to be good for it's supposed to just be good for you. It's supposed to be good for your teeth. It's supposed to help remineralize your teeth. It's supposed to help really strengthen your gum. It's just mouth health in general. Black coffee kills my desire. Really? That's interesting. I'd never heard of that before. Dickin, do you just drink it straight black? Or... Because that's how I drink it now. Mike and a couple other people at work got me drinking. I just drink no sugar, no cream, no nothing in there. Jake, I see you over on TikTok. Wouldn't that be more like a 32-hour fast? It depends on when you ate before. So let me go back in time. Let me think about this. So if I was fasting on Monday, let's see, Sunday. You're probably right. It probably would have been longer. Sunday, I might have ate my last meal at, like, let's say 7. I think I might have ate a later meal on those days. And so then I wouldn't eat until 7 o'clock the Tuesday morning. So I guess I was going, that's 36 hours. It was probably more like 36 hours that I was going. Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah, about 36 hours. So you there's definitely a lot of leeway with that one. Jake says, I can't go to bed hungry. Don't know how people do it. It takes practice. Yeah. Going to bed hungry is something that most people really struggle with. I just realized we didn't have any music playing. Let's get some background vibes going. Nothing major. Just a little bit of something to have in the background while we're over here. My wellness warriors, my self-care connoisseurs. I hate when my hotkeys don't work. There we go. Straight and less black coffee unless I'm super tired. Yeah, I can't do it. It's too long to do it. I mean, if it's something you're really interested to, you don't have to do 10 minutes. You could try other things. You could do it like for 3 minutes. Honestly, just do it as long as you can. Maybe build up to the 10 minutes. I can do 10 minutes, but that's just because I did it for a while. 10 minutes isn't difficult for me. I'll read a book. I'll listen to music. I'll watch something on TV. I'll set a timer and bam, just like that. It's 10 minutes. I don't just sit here and stare at a clock for 10 minutes because, yeah, I probably couldn't do it either. I've been doing the 16-8 schedule, but can't seem to get in. Can't seem to get in my calories. You can't seem to get in enough calories? I mean, are you trying to get into a calorie deficit? Basically, within that 8-hour window, I mean, you should probably be able to fit in 2 meals, right? So what I used to do with the 16-8, I would usually cut myself off, let's see, nothing after 8 o'clock, I think, and then I would break my fast the following day at noon, right? Yeah, 8 p.m. to noon the following day, which was the 16-8. So I would eat lunch at noon, eat dinner, preferably an earlier dinner, 5 o'clock. The only downside without eating an earlier dinner is that's where you get into that late night snacking. So I would try to have right before my my eating window shut down, I would try to have some sort of satiating snack, like a like trail mix or nuts, which are higher in saturated fats. They really help with keep me satiated, so I would do those. 16-8 is really not that hard once you get into it. Yeah, I'm doing 2 meals and getting full from them, but I'm only getting a little over 1,000 calories. I mean, honestly, I mean, I don't know. You'd really kind of have to go based off of what your preference is. If you think 1,000 calories is too little, then, I mean, up it up a little, more. But, I mean, honestly, 1,000 calories, how long have you been doing that? How does your body feel? You don't want to starve yourself. That's why I said with this, you do have to pay attention, watch out for unhealthy eating habits. It can lead to eating disorders as well. So I know a lot of people do it for weight loss. For me, I don't really, if you can tell by looking, I don't really need to lose weight. I just have a little bit of a gut, from the occasional unhealthy snack. I'm an ice cream connoisseur. I love ice cream. And I don't drink alcohol anymore, but when I used to drink, that's where a lot of this beer and mixed drinks with soda. And if you feel fine, then listen, I mean, 1,000 calories, make sure you're counting everything. Honestly, 1,000 calories, that's actually pretty good out of 2 meals, unless you're eating really healthy. That's kind of difficult to do. I mean, even me eating relatively healthy, yeah, that's pretty good if you're only getting 1,000 calories. But as long as you feel great with it, then I mean, I wouldn't say there's any concerns with that. I mean, when it comes to losing weight, I mean, that's the important thing, is getting into that calorie deficit. Or if you're just doing it for the health benefits, listen, take what it is, or maybe have a, like I said, that late after dinner snack right before your eating window closes, maybe like an hour before. Give yourself a chance to digest it. Breakfast was the easiest to stop, but I struggled with lunch. Yeah, especially depending on what you're doing. No, actually, thank you for the feedback. Everyone has their different style. Cutting down portions helps me. Listen, that's actually a great point, Steven. We can talk about that one a little bit, but I wouldn't mind even getting into a later episode. The unhealthy eating habits of Americans, right? And once again, no judgment. This is a show. If this is your first time here, we are judgment free. We are shade free. We are learning wellness together. But portion size, right? What really opened me up to that, and we'll kind of just leave it here, and we'll touch. I'm gonna write down a note because I want to do portions again. If you've never seen the documentary Super Size Me, portion sizes in America. I have to write things down anymore, or else I forget them. Oh shit! And we just went down on YouTube and Facebook. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull those back up. I don't know why they went down. See if we're still up. Our live went down a second. Looks like we're still up. My browser's just shut down. Did y'all lose me at all, or my browser's shut down? Looks like we're still up. Somebody throw a comment in there if you can still hear me, because it looks like I lost y'all for a moment. No, you're still live on YouTube. Okay, just all my browsers shut down on my side. I'll tell you what, we're gonna shut down the music. I think I have way too much stuff running on my computer, so just give me 1 second. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Where were we at? Portion sizes, right? Anyway, supersize me. It's this guy who did a study. He was someone who ate relatively healthy, and started eating McDonald's 3 meals a day, and then just for 30 days, and he didn't gain a lot of weight, but his numbers coming back from his blood work with his doctor were really of an unhealthy type. The biggest thing with me saying that is, remember McDonald's was the first one who kind of brought in that, would you like to supersize that meal? Right. Our portion sizes are out of control, but yeah, Steve, I'm glad that, you said lowering your portion sizes really helped. It really does. What's they say? I saw something the other day that says that, good practice when it comes to, eating like that is eat till you're about 80% full. Eat till you're about 80% full, right? And then cut yourself off. You'll start digesting, and within probably 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, you won't even be hungry anymore. So try that out as well. Good. All right, where were we at on comments? Like I said, thank you all for sticking around for a couple minutes. Ashley says, I knew someone who lost 100 pounds very fast doing 1 meal a day, 23 and 1. Okay. Good. CC is a little laggy. Yeah. Yeah, we might have to, because we're gonna be live again on Wednesday. I might have to clean this thing out real well, or we might not be able to go live. Which I hate to do so, because as you can see, I have a couple people over here on YouTube. I have people on Facebook join. I have people over here join on TikTok. We got to figure out a way around that. We're gonna have to make some updates to our computer. But yeah, portion sizes. 24-hour fasting. The one last thing I'll say about that before we kind of move on is be careful of what you use to break your fast with 12-hour fasting. Me, really hungry, wasn't really thinking about what I broke my fast with. You're not going to want to eat greasy food or anything super heavy, because there's a good chance it's probably going to come right back up. So yeah, you might want to avoid that at all costs if you can. Start off with something light. They say bone broth is a really great way to break a fast, and I say bone broth, not just regular store-bought like chicken or beef broth that are usually high in sodium and doesn't really have all the same benefits. Bone broth, a little bit more expensive, but definitely worth it. Yeah, I think I had like French fries or something like that from a restaurant, and yeah, it was not a good sight. Not a good sight at all. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our last segment here, right, where we kind of wrap up this conversation of fasting. Try out different things. Try the 12-12, right, to get yourself started. Most people do 12-12 and they don't even realize it. As I mentioned before, the only thing with a 12-hour eating window is you're not really giving your body a chance to actually gain the benefits from, being in a fasted state. You're just entering it, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, here's food. No, give yourself a little bit, even if it's only a couple hours. Maybe do a 14 and 10. That's a good starting place. Most people could probably do that. I will tell you, build up to that 16 and 8. 16 and 8 is actually pretty easy once you get into it. It can help get rid of some of those unhealthy eating habits that a lot of us have. All right, we're going to record our last segment, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this. In a world where a new diet trend shows up every day, it can be hard to know which is legit and which is a scam. If full-day fasting might be too intense, but you still want something trendier than 16-8, then welcome to the Goldilocks zone of fasting. The 4-3 method is like intermittent fasting's overachieving cousin. Instead of fasting daily, you eat normally for 4 days a week, and then on 3 non-consecutive days, you limit yourself to around 500 to 600 calories. So basically, eat normally Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, you and your cravings have a complicated relationship. It's like having a cheat day in reverse, and except instead of cheating, you're politely ghosting your appetite. A 12-month study in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that a 4-3 faster lost an average of 7.6% of their body weight, while folks who just did daily calorie restriction lost around 5%. What are some of the bonus perks? Lower blood pressure, reduced LDL cholesterol, which is the bad one, a smug sense of superiority at brunch when you sip water with purpose. Remember to have your pinky up. In short, you might lose weight, improve your heart health, and start referring to 500 calories as a light snack without irony. Let's be clear. This is not for everyone. People with diabetes, eating disorders, or a deep emotional connection to bagels should talk to a doctor first. Nutrition still matters. If your 500 calorie day is just iced coffee and vibes, we've got questions. Sustainability is key. If you're going to be angry, dizzy, or passive aggressive, in texting your friends every fasting day, it might not necessarily be the vibe for you. Fasting is a tool, not a punishment. If it starts feeling like a toxic relationship with your fridge, it's okay to swipe left. 4-3 fasting might work because it gives your body a break without making you feel like a full-time monk. You don't have to be perfect. You just need a plan that works within your chaos, not against it. And hey, if you can survive a 500 calorie day without starting a group chat fight, you're basically a mindfulness master. Enlightenment unlocked, no subscription required. Whatever you took from this, just remember you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it consciously. This has been Bargain Brand Wellness. Make it worth your wellness. All right. Yeah, I just saw this trend the other day of the 4-3 fasting. I think it's worth a try. I'd like to do a little bit more research on it, just to see if there's actually some legitimacy to this weight loss, or fat loss, fat burning. The difference between 7.6% to 5% isn't a huge percentage, but if you take those percentage points and spread them out over the course of time, a year, 5 years, it might make the difference, especially for those who maybe really struggle with doing a fasted eating. Give yourself, it's like almost like an every other day thing, right? Where you, today's my day to eat just my normal breakfast, lunch, dinner. Tomorrow is my fasted day. Just once again, another trend. Right, something to try out. I've heard of this. If you eat less or healthy 3 to 4 days, studies show you're more likely to keep it long term. Yeah, first doing a diet, which isn't a lifestyle change, and then gaining it all back. I mean, we all know, we've seen it before. Diets don't necessarily work. And actually, you said it perfectly, and that's kind of what we're talking about here. We're looking at a lifestyle change. You're not going to notice these benefits overnight. I've been doing intermittent fasting for 3-4 years, maybe. And it was hard. I would do really well through the week, but then the weekends I would eat like crap. And I was like, I'm still just not feeling any better. Now, even on the weekends, I'm able to do my normal thing. I no longer get hypoglycemic. The only time I really get a little shaky is if I start my morning off wrong. If I eat a donut, a cinnamon roll, pancakes for breakfast, yeah, my day is shot. But if I stick to high protein, eggs, cheese, right? Protein, bacon, sausage. I know it's a little high in sodium, but protein, a roasted sweet potato. I love roasted sweet potatoes. They are so good. Right? I feel great. I do my morning yogurt with my strawberry 0-calorie yogurt. It's good stuff. I really enjoy it. Caden Twig liked the live. I'm sure we got a few other likes, but I figured I'd call out my little K-bug over there if you're still in here. It's hard to fast when you take medication. Some medicines... I kind of cut off part of your chat there, Therese. So some medicines get stuck in my throat. I need to eat something with them. Absolutely. Right. And I mean, that's honestly something that we didn't really talk about was how do you fast when you're taking medicine, especially if it's certain medicines you're supposed to take during certain parts of the day. Yeah, that may not necessarily work in those cases. Obviously, your medicine is very important. So let's not skip medicine for the sake of fasting. Definitely a great point to add on to that. If you're able to kind of change the schedule when you take your medications, great. But if not, yeah, stick to your regimen. So I don't know, for any of our viewers who have been popping in, and if you're still on here, if you're looking for a new trend, give the 4-3 trend, a try. I do pretty much every day, kind of unintentionally. It's not that I don't want to eat breakfast. I just don't have time, right? Especially with my job, right? If I got class first thing in the morning, right? I go to the gym, right? I go to work, I get a shower, I get dressed. I got people coming in 15 minutes, and I'm not trying to be sitting there scarfing down my food. I just don't have time to eat breakfast half the time. That I'm good until 11:30, 12 o'clock when we go to lunch. So, but if any of you, the rest of y'all want to try a 4-3, fasting trend, give it a try. Let us know how it works out for you. Right, a lot of different styles out there. Oh, excellent. All right, how we looking? Still looking pretty good. All right. What we're now getting ready to kind of record is our off-brand thought of the day. Off-brand thought of the day is kind of the hot take of what we kind of take out of all of this and kind of bring it together. Nice little, just kind of taking it all and just mushing it together. Some of our hot takes might be a little spicy from time to time, maybe a little controversial, but we try to keep it pretty clean over here on Bargain Brand Wellness. Try to have a great time, a grand old time. All right, let's get into this. Let's be real. Fasting isn't magic. It won't fix your life. It won't pay your bills. And it won't make your ex text you back, even if you look amazing. But if it helps you feel more in tune with your body, gives your digestion a break, or just gives you an excuse to say, I'm cleansing, while you quietly suffer, go for it. Just maybe don't try it for the first time while standing in aisle 6, caressing a rotisserie chicken and whispering, my precious. That's your off-brand thought for the day. Take it, tweak it, or totally ignore it. Either way, make it worth your wellness. Boom. We just dropped that mic, bro. You guys are getting kind of quiet here in chat. Give me a shout out if you're still here. Let me know. I think YouTube is really behind or something. I'm not sure. YouTube's still showing my previous segment live. It looks like you're still here, Ashley. Okay. Maybe it's just me. Is that how you talk to your butter coffee? Is that what you do, Tim? Is that how you talk to your butter coffee? Hi, Precious. No, I used to really enjoy it. It was really good. But I'm very thankful that I'm very thankful that I got into just drinking straight black coffee. Actually, I really prefer it now. I don't even really like anything in my coffee. No creamer, no sugar, nothing. Just enjoying it. Good time. Still here. All right, making sure y'all are still here. You got a little quiet in chat for a couple minutes. I wanted to make sure it wasn't. I don't want to be sitting here talking to myself the whole time. I do that. Trust me, I do that enough, right? Most of you I've told. That's why I went back to work 5 days a week. Sitting here at home, working from home for 2.5 years. I couldn't do it any longer. I felt like I was going stir crazy. Start talking to myself. Poor Ellie, the dog. I felt bad for her. I talk to her and complain to her every time I got one of those rough emails. See, we got some likes coming up. We're up to 840 likes in the chat. Maddox Twig in the house. Thanks for the like, bud. We're wrapping up here. Right? We're finishing her out. Our talk today, if you're just now joining us or if you've kind of been here, we're talking about fasting. Being in a fasted state. What that looks like for each and every one of us. There's different styles, different ways to go about it. Find the thing that works for you. No, don't shame yourself. Nobody's perfect. You're not a robot. Start off slow, work your way up. When you have one of those days where it's not not the greatest, that's okay. Forgive yourself. Recognize it. Be aware of what went wrong. Kind of look back and kind of keep track of what could have been better, and then get right back on that. What's the old saying, right? Get right back on the saddle, right? Get right back into it. It's not an easy path, right? Especially if you've never tried any, type of fasting. I knew something, you know what, Dickin? Mad respect. I was waiting for someone to comment about the Reese's t-shirt. Listen, everything in moderation, right? Healthy eating habits. Don't deny yourself the things you like. If you like a Reese's peanut butter cup, who doesn't? Right? Have it. But you don't need to eat a whole bag of, the little minis, right? We're getting close to Easter time. Those little Reese's peanut butter eggs, I could probably eat 5 of those. I'm gonna feel like crap afterwards, but have one, right? Find that thing that you like and have it, just in moderation. Writing down your goals helps. Agreed. They say that's kind of first step to putting your goals in action is just by simply writing it down. We can all sit here and talk a good game about, what we want to do. That's what dreamers do. But, putting your things in action, right, starts by just putting it down on paper, writing down your goals, writing how you want to get those, short-term and long-term, right? And if you don't know the difference, long-term goals is where you see yourself in 5 years. Short-term goals is all the little baby steps you take to get to that point. If all you're focused on is from the present to that long-term goal, it's going to be really hard to get there. All right. Really hard to get there. Guys should do a 24-hour fast once a week for testosterone. Ooh, Paul, is it supposed to help raise your testosterone? I had not heard that. I might have to start doing my 24-hour fast again. I don't know. It was tough. I'm not going to lie to you. 24-hour fast was tough. It was. Yeah. Steven, affirmations are good. They're going to be good too. Not going to miss opportunity to be a smart ass. That's why I love you, Dickin. Build yourself up to a 3-day fast. I don't know if I could do that. When I saw someone do a 72-hour fast on YouTube once, that'd be tough. That would be tough. It's a good challenge. Look up how much it boosts your testosterone. I'm going to have to check that out. Now you got me curious. I did not know that fasting or 24-hour fasting built testosterone. You're allergic to peanut butter? Ash, I am so sorry for you. I'm not even a big peanut butter fan, but on dessert, Reese's peanut butter cups, great. Inside of ice cream, delicious. So I'm sorry you're allergic to it, but hey, whatever your thing is, right? That's okay. My other favorite one's peppermint patties. Oh, I love peppermint patties. That's my best part about Halloween and Easter and Valentine's Day is most of the kids don't like them. So I'm like, send them my way. Send them my way. I love them. But yeah, they are pretty good. You're not allergic. It was a typo. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you are allergic. I was saying that's really unfortunate. I mean, I know peanut allergies are pretty common. Yeah. All right. All right. So I think we're yes, I love peppermint patties and junior mints too. Yeah, they are really good. That used to be my favorite candy to get when I go to the movies. Junior mints. Never seemed to be enough in there. Get halfway through the movie and it's like, man, my box is all gone. So you gotta smuggle more in, right? All right. Well, it is a little after 9:30. I appreciate you all being on here. I think we're going to wrap this up with our little closing. Thank you guys for being on here. Thank you for bearing with me during the technical difficulties we had for those of you who were on here. Thank you for sticking around. We'll be back up on Wednesday for another juicy wellness topic. I hope you guys like it. So let me give you a little sign off here. Whether you're a fasting fanatic or just accidentally skipped lunch because life got chaotic, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Bargain Brand Wellness. Remember to hydrate, to meditate, but also to speculate, and maybe eat something if your eye starts to twitch. You are the discount hero of your own self-care saga. Until next time, make it worth your wellness.